Oh my lord, this video without music. Trying to record this without music is weird. I'm gonna throw on some music so I can just get in the right mood. Hold on. Let me. Where is it? My playlist. Actually, no, I'll go to Spotify. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to Spotify instead. Awesome. Okay, the mood is right. Cool. So I've had this video idea for a long time. I guess less so video idea, more so series idea. Oh, that's kind of loud, actually. I've had this video idea, series idea, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure if I'll actually make it a series or if it'll just be this video. But I basically just want to talk about stuff. Just random whatever topics. And that's because I used to make videos, I guess I can't say used to, but I've made a few videos where I do just talk about stuff with some minimal editing, just royalty-free music in the background. And just my voice, nothing too special. It's been a long time since I've made one of those, and I've kind of missed it. You know, I want to bring out Old Faithful again. And I don't know if I'm going to make this a full series, but if I do, I intend to do this with just various random topics, nothing too serious, and I intend to have a different video game every single week that I do this. This will be a weekly thing if I do it. Not that anyone cares, but, you know, this is just an affirmation for myself. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I want to try to keep the games I play to games that are lesser known. I don't know, it just feels better that way. Although there's no guarantee that I'll even do this weekly, let alone come out with a new game that I barely know. Surprisingly, I don't play games all that much. You would think I would play games a lot more considering I run a gaming-centric YouTube channel, but I really don't play games all that much. It's crazy. I should also mention that this video pays absolutely zero attention to quality in any sort of way. This is actually my second time recording this because the first was just so horribly terrible. I know I said it wouldn't pay attention to quality, but I have standards for this video, even if it is, you know, very low of a standard. But yeah, if I do make this a series, this video, and if I do make this a series, it'll mostly be for myself. Don't expect too much, honestly. The whole point of this is to just relax with the video, you know? But into the topic itself, anime conventions. I'm sure it's not a question, I'm an anime fan. I'd say a decently big one at that. And as such, I attended my first anime convention this summer. And before I speak on, I'm going to structure this chronologically, before I speak on how I felt about it, let's go back a little bit. Back to like 2023, summer of 2023. I was invited to attend the same convention by a friend of mine. If you're watching this, fuck you. You know who you are. Love you. And I rejected because, honestly, I have, or at least at the time, I had a bias against the anime community. I already don't think the best of the community as it is, and then my thoughts were, okay, whoever's attending an anime convention is like the worst of the people who I already don't have the best opinion of, and that's one of two big factors that kept me away. I was seeing, prior to 2023, a bunch of videos of anime cons and just the worst that are coming out of those anime cons, and my only times where I was interacting with the anime community outside of my friends was from Twitter and those videos. And that didn't leave the best impression of the anime community. The other big factor that kept me away from the con was not the price, but the price in conjunction with my enjoyment with it. And I don't mean my enjoyment just because of the people attending, but my enjoyment because of the con itself. I wasn't looking at the catalyst. Jesus Christ. God, I need water. Ah. Even though future me will be cutting it out, approximately 2 real-life minutes have elapsed. Do not be fooled by the editing propaganda. Back to what I was saying, though. What was I saying? Back to what I was saying. So, that was one of the big factors, my sort of distrust, disinterest, disliking of the anime community. The other big factor was considering how much I'd enjoy it, unrelated to the community, but more so related to the convention itself and what it had to showcase. There were I'd say three. Yeah, there were 3 major attractions, I'd say, for the AnimeCon. There was the market, there were the video game cabinets, and there were the panels. And in order of those 3, I'll provide reasons as to why I wasn't too interested in any of them. The market, I'm thinking like, alright, I don't want to spend too much money, I'm a college student. And on top of that, I'm betting a lot of it will be just official merchandise for a resale price that I could get for cheaper online. A lot of it was, but I'll go more into that later. The second aspect, the video game cabinet. Despite a lot of old retro video games I can play emulated, obviously. And I wasn't too interested in, like, quote-unquote sampling a bunch of new video games, because, I mean, what is there to play? You know, I have a computer at my house. I don't want to hop on a PS5 and play some game that I can just play on my computer. And then the third aspect, the panels. The panels were the most interesting thing for me. Before the convention started, I mean, the panels were the most interesting thing. But looking at a lot of the panels, I wasn't that interested in them. Not for the price point of needing to pay, what was it, $70 for admission, on top of needing to spend like an entire day dedicated to the AnimeCon. So those were the 2 big factors holding me back. The community that I sort of had a bias against, and the price point for what was being offered. I think I had a general lack of interest in that. But 2024 came along. This was from 2023, where I decided to not attend. 2024 came along, and I was like, you know, I'll try it. Why not? Worst case scenario, I'm out of $70, but, you know, it could be worse. Best case scenario, I really like something and I have a new hobby. And as such, I attended. I didn't cosplay or anything, because I'm not, can't say I'm not the biggest into cosplay, but, you know, it's my first AnimeCon. I don't want to cosplay, you know. But I attended. I'm not going to say which convention, and I'm not going to say where it was, but if I have photos, if I have photos in this video, you'll probably be able to figure that out anyway. But I attended, and I think getting to the brunt of it, my expectations were surpassed. My expectations were surpassed. And I mean especially by the community itself. My expectation was obviously the worst of the anime community. But what actually happened was, it was just a bunch of normal, regular people who weren't super obsessive about anything and who weren't super annoying. You know, they just had a common interest, and that made a really cool atmosphere. By expecting the worst, and that's a big thing, the atmosphere of it was actually really cool. I mean, as an anime fan, it was really cool to just have everything dedicated to one of my hobbies. It's like walking into like a car dealership as someone who really likes cars, and you know, there are a bunch of different cars around. It was a similar feeling. It was really cool to, everywhere I turned, something that I recognize from this subset of interest of mine. It was awesome. I mean, they even did have cars there, and the people were awesome. I mean, they beat the smell test. That's a big one. They beat the smell allegations. And they were just generally chill. No one was being a weirdo. No one was being excessively annoying. It was just, you know, they were normal, ordinary people that had the same interest as me. When I was expecting a bunch of people that were obsessive over this interest. A bunch of people that had more interest in Japanese culture than their own culture. A bunch of people whose entire identity was anime and manga. That's what I was expecting, but what I got were people who were just like me. Some people who were, you know, more interested in anime manga than I am, which is okay, that's not an issue, obviously. But no one who was, I don't want to say annoyingly interested, but interested in an annoying way. And that's really what made it so good, because I was just surrounded by a bunch of like-minded people, and it was just an overall fun experience. The funny thing was, I decided to walk the way to the anime con after getting dropped off, because I didn't want to catch a bus. No reason for that or anything, I don't mind catching the bus, but I thought it would be more convenient to walk. As I was walking, gradually as I was walking towards the convention center, gradually I would see more and more people with abnormal colored hair. It was just really funny. But upon actually getting to the anime con, ooh, that's a genius way to segment that. Hats to my back. Upon actually getting to the convention center and getting to the con, we started doing, me and my homie, shoutouts to him, fuck you. We started doing, you know, actual convention stuff. We spent a lot of time in the markets. And the markets were actually really fun, even if I didn't buy a ton, just because it was like a big exposition. A lot of it was really overpriced, resale-priced official merchandise. I can't lie, there was a lot of that, and I wasn't buying any of it because I can go online and get it for significantly cheaper. But then a lot of it was also original stuff that people were making, and that was the really cool part about it. Artist Alley, that's the term. Yeah, Artist Alley was really cool. It was fun to meet a bunch of people, talk to a bunch of people, and just shop around and just explore the whole area. It was really fun. I bought a few pins, bought a magnet. That's about it that I bought, but despite not buying much, I enjoyed it the entire time that I was shopping. And we were shopping for a long time, dude. A ton of time in the marketplace. Because it was massive. It was a huge marketplace. I will say, and this goes out to all of the tables selling official merch for resale prices. Dude, you know, like, all of that merch that you're trying to sell is readily available online for significantly cheaper? And considering you're at a convention with a bunch of nerd losers, including myself, we all know how to source that ourselves. You are not making any sales, dude, I promise you. But enough about the marketplace. The other activity, you know, gaming. I was gaming with a homie. It wasn't anything special, but, you know, it was nice to have physical arcade cabinets. That was really fun. Nothing super special, but, you know, it was fun. It wasn't that I was disinterested in the games, but it was that I was disinterested in the games if I was there myself, just by myself. You know what I mean? No, I can reword that. Not that I was disinterested in the games if I was there by myself. Disinterested in the games from a price point. I wouldn't pay $70 to get in if it was just a bunch of games that I could play for, like, however long the convention was open. But the games, in addition to everything else, it was nice to have them. But, and then we did one of the panels. And this is, if the photos, if I decide to attach them, don't give it away. This is what'll really give it away, at least to someone who was at the convention. There was a Danganronpa convention, Jesus Christ. This is why I script these type of videos typically. There was a Danganronpa panel, right? And I'm not the biggest Danganronpa fan, but like I'm a Danganronpa fan adjacent. I can't call myself a fan, but I like Dangan. And so we decided to do the Dangan panel, right? The Dangan panel was hilarious. because it was really, 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 really B-roll, if that makes any sense. It was super, super low budget. There were a bunch of technical issues. But at the same time, the people running the panel were actually really, really good in their roles. So it was like a really nice dichotomy of like really shitty low quality and like really, really high quality. That made it really fun. I think I significantly enjoyed it more than terrible way to word that. Grammatical. Ugh, my teachers would hate me. I think I enjoyed it significantly more than I would have if it was perfectly executed. If it was a super high budget stage play, I enjoyed this much more because sort of the low qualityness of it, I can't think of a better word for that right now. The low qualityness of it added to the absurdity of it, and it was part of what made it really fun. That was the only panel that I went to. At that panel, actually I want specifics, but at that panel though, yeah, that was the only panel that I went to. But overall, I mean, I walked away just with a great experience, like a really fantastic experience. Not just a good experience to the point where I can reflect on it and be like, yeah, that was fun, but a great experience to the point where I want to pre-order my tickets for next year. Like, that's how much I liked it. And I guess the moral of the story is if you have even an acute interest in something, who knows, try it, dude. Even if you can reasonably try it. You might love it. Your acute interest might go to a massive interest, and it might just be a normal big thing for you. Just give it a shot. If you don't have anything better to do that day, or anything better to try, say you're at a restaurant, and like, you know, you don't have your normal that you want to get, just as an example, try something new, dude. It's awesome. That's just the moral of the story. If you have an interest in something, just try it. Don't have preconceived notations. Just try it. The anime-manga community does suck, though. And that's about it, really. If you happen to have watched the one video where I very briefly show my face, and if you happen to attend the same anime con that I'm attending next year, and if you happen to, beyond all odds, remember my face and recognize me, come up to me. I'll give you $100. And I'm not afraid of losing anything because the chances are so exponentially low that there's no way it'll happen, right? Right. This offer does not extend to anyone that knows me in real life currently.